Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. It's 26 minutes to 8. And then, Ahmad Sajoh joins us now. He is the Director of Press in Adamawa State Government House. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, interesting developments we see across board within the political parties. Well, the PDP having their major meeting. But let's look at first what's going on in Rivers State. And, of course, the paper is also continuously picking up on that one as long as they're playing themselves out. But what is your thoughts on how all of this is going? Because yes, the recent event was not just the first one, a series of activities to this one, and there will be more. What do you think of all of this?
I'm worried. I'm worried because I come from Adamawa State, and a few days back, a delegation of the state government was at the NYC camp in Yola, where refugees from Central African Republic were brought. We're trying to find their families and reunite them with them. And we realized that this crisis of leadership, sometimes if it degenerates to a certain level, it could create more repercussions than we expect. We met some young, very small kids whose parents had been killed at Central African Republic, and they were brought to Nigeria and brought to Adamawa State. They've never known this place. They don't even speak English. They only speak Sango and French. They don't speak Hausa. They don't speak Fulfulde, and they don't even know where their parents came from. And we're trying to reunite them with their parents, and we see the dangers in allowing political crisis to go beyond, the management of the abilities of the parties to talk over such issues. So we look at the happenings in Rivers State as being very, very ominous for this country. When I saw on Channels TV, at least that I can relate very well, you were interviewing the commissioner. He was brazenly saying no rubber bullets were used, but Channels was showing expended cartridges of the rubber bullets that were used there and then on the TV. I mean, when people do things and don't own up to them, it's a recipe for serious crisis in the country. And it's the crisis we're trying to avoid. As political leaders, we expect that our political differences could be discussed, no matter what they are, without resorting to the use of violence. And I must tell you that beyond what we're seeing in Rivers, I can see dangers in the whole country. We've stopped talking about issues. We've stopped talking about even development issues. We're not talking about personalities. We're talking about the regions they come from, the ethnic configuration there, and the religion they come from.
Let me drop this in while you continue, because I mean, you know how some of these politicians think. You relate to some of them.
Yeah.
Why is it that, or don't they, or do they ever consider backing down, even if they quote unquote appear to lose out? Why doesn't that happen? That's
what I'm telling you. That for me personally, I think our politicians are becoming too self-centered. They're thinking of self too much more than they're thinking of the nation or the people or whatever. I was just discussing with somebody before I came in here that probably if the situation in Adamawa were managed properly, maybe the national chairman would not have gotten to where he is, because that is the genesis of the entire crisis.
Okay, he is from Adamawa State?
Yeah, he's from Adamawa State.
So when you say the situation there, what would that be?
What I'm saying is that the whole agitations against him, the level of impunity that people are talking about today,
Did it come from Adamawa?
It came from Adamawa. There was an election of the party leadership in Adamawa. That election was conducted by a panel sent by the National Secretariat. No Adamawa indigene was involved. No Adamawa person was involved. The panel, called for nominations, screened the candidate, declared them fit to contest, conducted the elections, and they won the elections. Those that won the elections. They wrote a report. I have a copy of the report. They wrote a report to the National Secretariat that the elections in Adamawa State was free, fair, and in accordance with the constitution of the PDP. An appeal panel came. The appeal panel said Adamawa people have appeared to understand the meaning of working together. So they passed the process. Then after that, shortly after that, a letter came from the National Secretariat dissolving the ESCO on the grounds that something violated the PDP constitution in the constitution of the ESCO. So at that point, if after there was this strict argument based on the law and the documents available, and if superior argument had won, and the national leadership accepted that, look, we were wrong in doing this, we were right in doing this, and an amicable settlement was done, then this crisis would have escalated to other states being affected and other people affected and all that, and now it's trying to engulf the entire country.
My colleague asked a question.
Yes, sir.
Why is it difficult for politicians to back down?
I can tell you, very, very explicitly that not politicians, just say Nigerian politicians, and I am telling you with all sincerity that most of us in politics in Nigeria are too self-centered. It's about self. And now we have also extended that same thing to the larger society by insisting that all discussions should be about individuals, about where they come from, about where. This morning I read Izefe in Vanguard. I don't know if you've read him, that he said without Jonathan contesting 2015 and winning, there will be no Nigeria. Nigeria will break up. How can you tie the destiny of an entire country to an individual? Forgetting that we have had experiences in this place. 5 political parties adopted Abacha. He was the only one the cap fitted, and then God took him away, and the cap had been fitting other people up to date. I mean, how can you tie the destiny of a country with one on an individual? I think we should begin to think about issues. We should begin to broaden our minds in talking about, the things that are happening. Like we keep saying, if in the case of Adamawa, and I'm repeating this over and over, if in the case of Adamawa, the facts on ground, the PDP constitution, the report of the election panel, the report of the appeal panel, all the documents available, the letter from the National Secretariat accepting the election, if all these were put on table and accepted without thinking of self, the crisis would have been resolved. But the same thing is playing out in Rivers.
Now,
it's about individuals. It's about Amechi. It's about the First Lady. It's about the people who wanted. The whole crisis is about individuals. It's about Nike, about this. Nobody is talking about the Rivers people. Nobody is talking about the development of Rivers. Nobody is talking about the political process in a holistic manner, the constitution. What does the law say?
I'm sure that's what the parties try to discuss.
Okay, tell me, what is the party trying to discuss there? The constitution of the Federal Republic says you have freedom to assemble, and then a commissioner of police says he is the only one that can allow you to assemble. Who is more powerful? Is it the commissioner of police or the constitution of the federation? And where you have a situation where individuals arrogate so much powers to themselves.
He says he's relying on, I think, Public Order Act.
Public Order Act. They said if any law is inconsistent with the provision of the constitution, to the extent of the inconsistency, the constitution overrides the law.
But the police also has a mandate to ensure peace, and the police can look at a gathering and of their own prerogative say this is going to be detrimental to the peace of the society and step in.
Okay, now they look at it, then they should not treat it in a manner that is related to cultist activities. They should come out with the facts. We have it on good authority that this number of people have been hired with this arms and ammunition to go and cause mayhem. They should come clear.
And we hear politicians across the board all do the same thing. Most of them.
No, do what?
Hire people to go cause.
If you have facts, put them on table. We're not talking about we here. I said put them on table.
But doesn't that happen?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. I have not seen any politician recruit people and give them arms. I have not seen that.
Talking about people asking some to step down and for some not to go. Well, I'll share this with you from Gwando Tune. He says your principal, the governor of Adamawa State, is also caught in that web of trying to dictate what should be and shouldn't be in even the PDP, and that he was amongst those who were also calling for the head of Bamanga Tukur as the PDP chairman. So when people say the president must contest, and someone like the governor, His Excellency, governor of your state, is also saying that, well, Tukur must leave, is almost the same thing. So they're all...
No, they're not the same thing. And let me tell you, you see, when the governor, my governor, Murtala Nyako, was in PDP, along with some other governors, they were said to be the problems. They were the ones that were engineering the removal of Tukur. They've stepped out of PDP. They are now in APC. Whatever problems the PDP has now has nothing to do with them. But then the call for Tukur's removal had not abated. So it was not about my governor's agitation.
Yeah, but isn't it, from what he said, after setting the fire, you leave the room? Is fire supposed to douse itself?
Nobody set the fire. But I told you the genesis of it. A panel you sent to come and conduct an election in my state as the governor. I did not interfere with the panel. The panel conducted the election, wrote a report to you. You accepted the report. Then you turned around and negated everything you have accepted. And I have a right to say, look, what you did is not legal. It's not constitutional. It's not. It's done with impunity. But the lawlessness.
The crux of this matter, from one good thing you're here, you could confirm or debunk it, is that your principal, the governor, is trying to make his son succeed him as the governor. And just a minute, and the chairman also is also trying to do the same thing. So both of them, naturally, no.
You're getting it absolutely wrong.
What is the situation?
On 3 public occasions now, 3, not 1, 3 public occasions, Murtala Nyako on a podium had announced that neither himself nor his son or any member of his relations will be a candidate in the elections in 2015. He has made that abundantly clear.
Does that mean that he will not influence whoever emerges as...
You're going into a different realm.
No,
we're talking about... Your question was, he was doing it for his son. And I am telling you that he said...
And my follow-up question is that, does that mean that he will not be interested in influencing who succeeds him?
Not influencing, but does that mean that he would not participate in the next election as a voter?
No,
if he will participate as a voter, and he has a preference,
you're trying to
cast his vote for somebody.
You're begging the question.
No, okay.
I'm not begging the question. What I'm asking is, because we're talking about the politicians, their interest, how it inflames the society. Now, if he has announced, as you say, on 3 occasions that his son and no family member will participate in the elections,
in the next election,
and I'm asking,
and he himself,
okay, I'm asking, as a governor, outgoing governor, does it mean he will not influence who succeeds him?
And I am putting it back to you. Does it mean that he would not be interested in who becomes the next governor?